Are you killing your chances to build wealth without even realizing it? Today, I'm going to expose 12 hidden wealth killers that might be keeping you financially stuck. If you can overcome these, you can save yourself tens of thousands of dollars or more over the course of your life, all while being a better manager of the money God has given you. I'm Sarah. I'm a certified financial educator, and I created this channel, It's All His, to help Christians manage God's money, God's way, for God's glory, because it all belongs to Him, and we want to be faithful in how we manage it. If that sounds like something that would help you, please consider subscribing so that you don't miss new videos every week. The Bible has so much to say about building wealth and how we handle the money that God gives us to manage, because it's really all His money and we're just stewards. We aren't meant to build wealth quickly. We're meant to do it with discipline and faithfulness and hard work over time. But a lot of the practices that we can get into make it harder for us to build wealth and harder for us to be faithful stewards. So let's talk about these 12 things that might be killing your chances to build wealth and be faithful. The first one is car payments. I recently made a video about that. I will link it up here. Car payments are the number one wealth killer. Car payments keep you stuck. Car payments make you spend more money on things than they're worth. Cars are a depreciating asset. I could go on and on. Check out that video, but car payments might be one of the things that is stopping you from being able to build wealth. The next one is high interest debt, particularly credit card debt. This is debt that is just never going to serve your financial goals. There are some debts like home ownership or maybe a business loan where you are investing in something that's going up in value, in something that you can increase the value of, like a business. Even student debt, if taken out wisely, is an investment in yourself and your future earning ability. But credit card debt just never is. The interest rates are too high. Most of the time when you use credit cards, you're not able to pay them off completely. And if that's happening, you're paying exorbitant rates and way more for everything that you buy on that credit card. So credit card debt, huge wealth killer. You definitely want to avoid it. Another wealth killer could be co-signing debt with someone else. The Bible does have a lot to say about this too, and definitely warns against it. Co-signing debt may end up with you holding the bag for some debt that you didn't even see any benefit from. Definitely avoid co-signing if you can. Another way that you might be killing your chances to build wealth is not investing, and particularly not investing early. The earlier you start making investments, the more time you have beautiful growth with that compound interest effect. If you haven't started investing, consider starting now. And a great place to do that would be with an employee investment plan through your employer. If that plan has a 401k or Roth 401k and they offer a match, another wealth killer could be that you're not taking advantage of that match. If all you can do right now is give enough so that you get the full match, do that. That is 100% return on your investment, and it's super wise, and you definitely don't want to waste that opportunity to build wealth. I alluded to it earlier, but another wealth killer could be just taking on way too much student debt. Think of student debt as an investment in yourself and in your future. How much debt you take on should be reflected by the income earning potential that you'll have later. Don't take on $200,000 of debt for the college experience when you're going to come out making $50,000 a year. You're going to be in debt forever that way. You're not going to be able to make an income that helps you dig your way out of that debt. Debt for a job where you have high income potential could make more sense. It's a better investment. Think about it as an investment and think of what is the return on the investment that I'm going to get. And don't let kind of the blindness of youth make you think that you need to have certain experiences to be happy, when later down the road, you're not going to be thinking, oh, I'm so glad I lived in the dorms and ate in the dining hall, when now I want to buy a house and I can't because I'm strapped with debt. Or I want to stay home with my kids and I need to work because I'm strapped with debt. Those few years of fun in college are not going to be worth it later when you are strapped because you didn't think about the return on investment for your student debt. And don't think that you need to go to some fancy four-year school. Local community colleges are a great way to get the same education for a fraction of the price. Live at home and commute. Find ways that you can get the education that you want without accruing so much debt. It could mean something like taking a little bit longer to do school while you work and pay as you go. Don't get stuck in the trap of just weighing yourself down with student debt. So many people, recent generations, have done this, and it's just been to their harm and their detriment over and over again. Learn from them, and going forward, make wise decisions when you consider taking out student debt. Another wealth killer is not knowing what a wise percentage of your income is to spend on certain items. Figure out what the smart percentage is for how much you make to spend on, say, a house or a car, and then don't go above that. Stick with what is comfortable, and don't go based on what lenders want to give you. They will always approve you for a little bit more than is comfortable. Don't just assume that because they approved you for that amount, that you can actually comfortably and wisely afford that amount. Know your number going in and stick to it. Don't budge, and you will definitely be able to build wealth more readily. Another wealth killer is having payments on everything. And nowadays you can literally get them on everything. I was in my grocery app placing an online grocery order, and I saw as I was checking out, they give you an option to make payments on your groceries. I really hope you do not have to do that, because that is a very, very unwise move. It's not just your car payment anymore. You have a payment on your cell phone. You have a payment on your TV set or your furniture. You ask yourself, rather than, can I afford it? You say, can I afford the payment? And everything in your life is done in payments. And that means almost everything in your life is paid with interest, and you're paying a lot more because you're not delaying gratification. It is so much wiser to save up for that thing that you need, or don't upgrade the phone just because it's the newest one and has a slightly better camera. Try to avoid having payments on every single thing, and you will definitely be able to build wealth more effectively. Another wealth killer is thinking that travel is worth being in debt. Listen, if you can afford 5 vacations a year and you can do that wisely and you can do that to the glory of God, it's none of my business. But if you feel like you have this need to take multiple vacations every year and you're putting it on a credit card and you're making payments on a vacation you already had for years to come, that is not a wise use of God's money, and it is definitely going to get in the way of your ability to build wealth long term. And I can just tell you from experience, a vacation is so much more fun and so much more relaxing when it's already paid for because you saved up for it, rather than having to make payments on it down the road. And I get it. We live in a world that tells us travel and having that kind of fun and that wanderlust is sort of like the be all and end all. But I'm just going to encourage you, Christian, listen, you're going to live in the new heavens and the new earth. You will be perfectly fine if you don't see Paris or Fiji in this life. I promise. Just be a faithful steward. Find contentment in the vacations that you can comfortably afford, and just leave the rest in God's hands. Another definite wealth killer are any kind of get-rich-quick scheme. Now, sure, there's some people out there that can make a killing at day trading, but for the average person, this is most likely going to result in you losing money. But most people are not trying to be day traders. The get-rich-quick scheme that might be getting you is the lottery ticket, or maybe it's the casino. Remember, wealth is meant to be built slowly over time with hard work and diligence. We're not meant to get that get rich quick flush of cash that we're always pursuing, because oftentimes it's our own sinful greed that is driving us to want to do those things. And casinos make a lot of money for a reason. It's because they are usually winning and the people they are gambling are usually losing. In fact, pretty much always losing. They wouldn't be in business otherwise. You want to keep building wealth, avoid those get rich quick schemes, and work hard and diligently and slowly build that wealth over time, as the Bible says we should. Another wealth killer that is really easy for us to fall into is lifestyle creep. I made a video about that, and I will link a card for that up here. Lifestyle creep is what happens when, as your income increases over time, maybe you move up in your profession, get a pay raise, get some additional education. As you make more money, you just increase your standard of living and increase your spending. Rather than sticking with the standard of living you're used to, you just raise it ever so slightly. This one is really hard, and I have seen this happen in our own lives. Be on guard for lifestyle creep if you want to be able to build wealth. Another major wealth killer are bad habits that take up a lot of your money. I'm talking about things like going to the club, going to the bar, buying alcohol regularly. That's an expensive product to be purchasing and having in your regular budget. Smoking, vaping. Not only will these habits kill your ability to build wealth, but they can actually literally kill you. As Christians, we can seek the Lord's help to set us free from these types of habits that have ensnared us. But it's not just those types of things for any of us who want to feel a little self-righteous because we don't drink or we don't vape. It can even be things like eating out all the time. Those decisions aren't good for your health. A lot of times when we're doing that, we're taking in way more calories and fat than we need, but it's also really, really bad for our budget. It can be convenient, it can be kind of fun, but do we need to be doing it as much as we are? Can we resist hitting the drive-thru? Or maybe it's that coffee at the coffee shop every day. Whatever it might be, those regular habitual things that you're doing that really hit your bottom line, they can be big wealth killers in the long term. Another wealth killer that again can hit kind of close to home is, are you being a little too high maintenance? Now, I'm not just talking to us ladies. There can be high maintenance men too, but your hair, do you have to get it done as often as you do? Could you do your roots at home if you aren't quite ready to go gray? Maybe you can find a salon that's a little more in your budget. Manicures, pedicures, do you need to go to the nail salon as often as you are? Maybe that could be more of a treat and you can figure out a way to save some money and do those things at home. These salon appointments, they can add up fast to our monthly budget, and that's money that you could be using to hit your financial goals invest in the future. Just challenging you to think of some ways that you might be able to cut that line item in your budget a little bit and make some of that a little bit cheaper. And ultimately, I think the biggest wealth killer is foregoing being generous. What is the point of building wealth as a Christian if it's just to hoard it for yourself? All of our wealth comes from God. He gives us the ability to earn it, and so it should be used to glorify Him. And one of the ways that we do that is by having an open hand mentality, being very generous with what God has given us. God has allowed us to manage some of His money, and we should do it with His agenda in mind, not our own. We definitely don't give to get back from Him, but how do we define wealth as Christians, really? Are we defining it as purely having more for ourselves, or is it a tool we can build up faithfully over time that can be a great blessing to many others and further the kingdom of God? That is truly living a wealthy life. Click on over into this video where I talk about how life-changing generosity really is, and I will see you over there. Thanks so much for watching.